Okay. And once we prepare, then we can go live and start the discussion. Okay, it's working. Finally. Hi, everyone. I'm going to say hi to everyone that.
Oh, no.
I think we lost Olesya already. So
I think so. Hi, Marina. It's good to see you.
hi, Julia. Really nice seeing you. It's a pleasure seeing you. I was just mentioning today on our blog that we started to work with you in 2018. You were in Moldova.
Yes, I had such
you
a
were
great
very
time.
involved in the global campaign, Global Entrepreneurship Network. And you're part of the summit, you're part of the Women Entrepreneurship event, and also the Yes in Media. And it was a really interesting experience with you.
It was.
You used to work with Microsoft. Now you, for 2 months, you changed your job. You have
I didn't.
Job.
I still work with Microsoft. I do still work with Microsoft. I just work for a different consulting company, but I still work for Microsoft.
Lovely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, it was a bit confusing for me while I was like, we're debating with Marina on that. Is she or is she not working on that?
Yes. I still work for Microsoft. I still support their Entrepreneurship for Positive Impact programming, but I just work for a different consulting company. So
if we talk about positive impact, how and what does Microsoft mean by positive impact?
Yeah.
What is the program around? Because it's kind of, it's very blurry for some people. What is positive impact and what exactly are the investments in?
Sure. Yeah. So the way that the team at Microsoft talks about positive impact, and I am happy to share some resources from our executive vice president who's sort of spearheading this initiative, is that we use positive impact as a term as opposed to just social entrepreneurship, because we recognize that there are companies out there who have products or business models or services that contribute to the betterment of the planet, but they're not necessarily a traditional social entrepreneur. So we work with social entrepreneurs. We work with organizations like Ashoka or the Schwab Foundation, and companies whose entire purpose is contributing to social good. So they're companies that focus on, clean water or reducing poverty or hunger, things like that. But we also recognize that there are other companies who are maybe not fully focused on social impact, but whose work does contribute to the betterment of the planet. So that's why we call it entrepreneurship for positive impact. So it's a little bit bigger of an umbrella for different types of businesses.
Do you tie it in with the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals? Because I know that many companies, they actually measure their impact by tying in with the 17 values that the Sustainable Development Goal framework represents. And I know that there have been different times when in the US there was resistance to the notion of sustainability and the notion of climate change. And do we see any change about that? Any shifts in mindsets and in leadership?
Yeah, so we do very much use the UN Sustainable Development Goals as the benchmark for the work at Microsoft. And I would say, broadly speaking, what we see in the US is, I think, generally more acceptance of the reality of climate change, that it is happening. We see it, especially where I live in New Mexico, where it's incredibly hot. We have record droughts, we have record wildfires, and we keep breaking those records every year. It gets worse and worse. And I think from a business perspective, there is, of course, much more interest in sustainability, environmental sustainability, but also, especially in the context of the US, where we've had over the last, couple of years, a lot of really big social sort of moments in terms of gender rights or police brutality or environmental issues. There's a greater recognition that sustainability doesn't just mean environmental, and that businesses have to think about a lot of other things in addition to just being good for the planet. I think consumers especially are not just interested in companies that maybe have a low environmental impact if they don't pay their employees well, for instance. So people, I think, are much more critical of the idea that sustainability is both a business process. It's how you run your company. Are you paying employees? Are you doing ethical business practices in terms of managing your money? Are you supporting labor rights and things like that? And also, do you have sustainable outcomes?
Yeah, I think right now I think everybody is kind of awakened, because after the pandemics, many things have shifted towards the good. People have understood the importance of collective focus, of collective drive for solutions, because we were looking for so many months and weeks and months for a vaccine, and then kind of we see that even the energetic crisis, and now with the war that is so close to us, we can see that there is an understanding of the values and how important they are, and if we preserve it as a collective, and if we make them more important than any other type of benefits that could actually be the driver for business. Because we usually in the classical literature were taught that businesses are usually just for profit. And that has changed, and I see that a lot in the last